Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Getting It Done Fishing, helping bank anglers become better bass anglers. And today we're talking about a Texas Rig Swimbait. Yes sir, a Texas Rig Swimbait. You know, when you're a bank angler, you're limited on tackle. You already have the weights for a Texas Rig, the bullet weight. You already have hooks, and you already have the swim baits, either for a swim jig, chatterbait, you know, even just regular swim bait heads. But we're talking about Texas Rig Swimbait. You know, this one right here is on an extra wide gap hook. You can actually do it on a worm hook. So there's a worm hook. I personally like the extra wide gap hook. Gives you more space. And really the key to a Texas Rig Swimbait is that you're going weedless. Putting the weight on, when you're going through vegetation, you're ripping it through vegetation, it's not gonna get hung up. That's loud. It's not gonna get hung up. You could pop it out of there. There's different weights you could use. Again, these are all things that you already have in your tackle box, and we're just gonna combine them, because when you're a bank angler, you need to be able to have options, and we don't want to carry 1,000 pounds of tackle, and that's what it's all about. One tip when you're rigging a swim bait, you want to start that hook on a paddle down. You come up through that head just a little bit, and you rig it, and then you want that paddle to where it sits, to where that paddle's down, coming straight across. And we're gonna go through presentations and when to use it. And again, this is really an awesome technique to use if you have vegetation, you know, going out deep, you need an extra weight, and it's more subtle. You're gonna get more strikes, keeps it in the strike zone longer, and that's what it's all about. So let's go through some of the presentations. You know, we're always matching conditions, weather conditions, time of the year. Right now it's summer, it's August, had a lot of rain. Behavior, you know, they're not pushed up for fall yet. They should be still out deep, chasing bait fish out deep. The pattern, we're using a Texas Rig Swimbait, and the lure is obviously a swim bait. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna slow roll it off the bottom. I fish a lot of hydrilla, just hydrilla mats, and we're gonna slowly roll it through. Let's go through presentations. The first presentation I'm gonna go through is just gonna cast and work the bottom. I'm gonna slow it down. There's a lot of hydrilla, a lot of grass. But by doing this rig, I'm making it weedless. I'll be able to go through that hydrilla, and you'll be able to get some reactionary bites, slowing it down. Those big females are still out deep. It's still summertime, or even in the fall time, and they're starting to push up. You could work different edges of grass line, lily pads, even cattails, you know, drop-offs, undulations on the bottom. If you have rock, bouncing it off the bottom of that rock, that's magical. I can feel the hydrilla. It goes through the hydrilla nice, man. I mean, it's really going through that hydrilla. I'm just slowing it on that bottom. Got a couple pieces on there. But that's some thick hydrilla mats. Depending on the bullet weights you have, I mean, you can cast this thing a mile if you have a 1/2 ounce. If you really want to even go heavier, goes straight down to the bottom. Works awesome through hydrilla, grass, any type of vegetation, lily pads. You hit that hydrilla, you tap it out of there, that erratic motion. The other great thing about this presentation, slow rolling it on the bottom, is the strike zone's smaller. You know, after a storm, bluebird skies, it's keeping in that strike zone longer. It's really gonna help you catch more bass. This presentation's all about slow, slow, slow. That paddle's just barely moving on the bottom. Just moving through that vegetation, moving through that bottom. If you get stuck on hydrilla coming through and just slow rolling it off the bottom, let it sit, stop, and then just pick it up just pop it a little bit, just pop it. It's some pretty heavy hydrilla mass right there that I'm going through. You can feel it going through. Gives you the ability to fish a swim bait through hydrilla. And I'm telling you, they are magical, son. Texas Rig Swimbait. That's how you do it. Extra wide gap hook. That's my preferred hook. But again, you could do with a worm hook if that's what you have. I mean, I can feel that's some heavy hydrilla. I mean, it's some pretty heavy hydrilla that I'm working that thing through. And I can just feel it kind of like snag, booms, and it's just going right through it. Our next retrieval we're talking about is just kind of a pop. We're gonna pop it. We're gonna raise that up and let that paddle tail come down. When they're not willing to chase, that strike zone's small. the rise, let it pop up, down, pop down. That paddle tail is still working in that vegetation or off that bottom. Not necessarily only vegetation, but off that bottom. And you're working it right in that strike zone. And you're fishing it just like a normal Texas rig with a worm or a creature bait. You're just popping it. Let it come up and let that paddle tail come down. I love this technique in the winter time, right when the ice comes off and you're targeting specific areas. It just keeps it in that strike zone. You're just popping it, it just comes up, it comes down. Giving that time for that bass to inspect, take a look at it, and boom, easy eats. That's how you do it. Just raising it up. Bring the rod tip down and raising it up. Wait a couple seconds. And that bass is gonna hit it on the fall. That's all, just raise it up, feel it come up, let it come back down. Bring it down by my hip, reel in that slack, raise the rod tip up, and bring it down, just wait. When you bring that rod tip up, you feel like a pool. That bass has it, you gotta lay into it. Retrieve, pause, retrieve, pause. We're working on the bottom. We're working on keeping it in the strike zone. It's moving, stops, move, stops, move, stops. And we're not talking about a whole lot of movement. We're just moving it, stop, moving it, stop. Bring in all your slack. I'm just gonna make a couple turns of the reel. A couple turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then let it stop. Just gonna wait a couple seconds. Retrieve, pause, retrieve, pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it sit there. If you're working it through vegetation, I like this because you hit that vegetation, you can feel it, and you come out of that vegetation. A lot of times I'll just let it sit. And it kind of comes down off that vegetation, and you're given time for bass to inspect it. Come take a look at it, boom, easy eats, and it comes, it's like, it's a big one, son. I mean, it's a big one all day long. About 3 or 4 turns on the reel. Just pause. Especially if you know where the strike zone is or a grass line, working on the edge of a grass line, you've got a long grass line. Just slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4, let it sit. 1, 2, 3, 4, let it sit. We're gonna do a hop, crawl, not a pop. We're gonna add a little bit of all the different types of retrievals into one. Sometimes those bass are really finicky, and you gotta get them to be interested in it. So like a pop, crawl, a couple turns, pop, crawl, a couple turns. You know, if they're really finicky, you're not getting a lot of bites off that slow retrieval, you gotta get them to be, you gotta entice them. So we're gonna crawl, wait a couple seconds, pop, pop, pop. Go back to kind of like a drag, like a crawl, retrieve, pop, 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 pop. And I can feel that bullet weight. Bring it over. If I had more room, I'd go right to left, but I got this stuff. So I'm just gonna drag, 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 bring it up, pop, 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 drag. And it's mixing up the different types of retrieval into that swim bait. Let it sit, pop, 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 pop. Especially if you're like around like cattails or lily pads, I like that. I like to pop it, pop, 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 and just bring it up, let that tail work, and comes down, and boom. We'll do one last retrieval. I'll make a cast down this bank and see if I can catch one. I mean, if they're chasing, you can pick up the speed as your presentation. So let's let it go down to the bottom, fishing out deep. And now I'm just gonna kind of pick up my retrieval a little bit. It hits vegetation, it's going through the vegetation. Just gonna pick it up a little bit. I'm not burning it. There's not one thing I'm not doing. I'm not burning it. It's still on the bottom. I'm not kind of slow rolling it. A little bit faster. And that's what it is. That bullet weight is coming through. My favorite presentation, depending on the conditions, depending on the behavior. If it's late winter, early spring, I like that pop. And as we start to get into that spawn in the spring, you know, on that bottom, slow rolling it. I'm all about slow rolling it. And especially in the summertime, I like to do that pop, that crawl, and really work that strike zone. You can work a pond at a pretty decent pace with the Texas Rig Swimbait. You know, hitting the grass lines, hitting that vegetation. Even if you don't have vegetation, working that bottom. You cast it a mile. That's what a Texas Rig Swimbait's all about. Yes, sir. You know, work on the different presentations, the slow rolling, the crawl. You can do the drag, mixing in together, the slow retrieval, the pauses. It's all about understanding bass behavior. It's all about understanding the conditions and matching that pattern with that retrieval. That strike zone's small. You really want to work that strike zone, that pause and retrieve, that hopping. If they're willing to chase, you can pick up the pace, slowly drag it on the bottom, you know, slow rolling it. And what I really love about it is it goes through vegetation. It's not going to get hung up. It's weedless, and it just gets it done all day long, son. All right, if you like the content or you enjoy the channel, go check out the community. It's right there. Click join. Really greatly appreciate it. Go click that. Go check it out. It says join. Join the family. Join the family of getting it done fishing. Special shout out to all my members. Greatly appreciate all the support. Always getting it done. Always catching big ones. Yes, sir. Greatly appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe. This channel is all about helping bank anglers become better bass anglers. Yes, sir. My name's Greg. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Getting It Done Fishing.